Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Moss Sports Podcast. My name is Andy Robertson. I have Mauricio Beltran Hernandez, who has won an Emmy with me, and Spencer, who does not have an Emmy but has some great hair. Griffin.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. I have no hair, so I got to point that out. We'll go ahead and start with the NCAA college basketball goings on. We do know who is playing for the national championship game, which this will be posted after the game has been played, so this is kind of pointless. But Kansas and North Carolina are playing. You guys have a favorite here?
I didn't even think about it coming out.
I didn't either.
That's okay.
I'm going North Carolina. I don't like Kansas at all.
That's purely an emotional pick.
Yeah, I just they feel like they carry themselves too high, you know. They need to be humbled like the football team.
I think you're just mad because
humbled like the football team. That football team's humbled every year.
You said that Bill Self would crumble under pressure and they would choke, but here they are. What are your thoughts on that?
They have a lot of stuff happen go their way, you know, like the Villanova guy got injured. They play Miami in that other round, you know. So stuff kind of just fell into place.
You got to play who's in front of you. They can't control that.
But let's say they would have played on the West, like Arkansas did. I don't think they would have made it that far.
Well, what about North Carolina? Played in probably the weakest region, though. So what about them?
But you know they're at 8 seeds, and they're oh, okay, you know, it's understandable. But I will say
the story of them being an 8 seed and winning it would be good if it was anybody other than North Carolina, because they're a blue blood, so you kind of expect it anyway. But yeah, any other 8 seed making it this far would be phenomenal. But I think I'm going to go with Kansas. I like what they've been doing. They really took it to Villanova early. Agbaji I think he started out 6 of 6 from 3 and really had a great first half. And then McCormack had the great second half, and he's proven himself to be a good presence inside, which they're definitely going to need against Baycott. So that'll be a good matchup with McCormack and Baycott because both of those are tremendous rebounders. I think Baycott might have a slight edge there, but as far as offensively, I think McCormack will have an edge. And then as far as guard play goes, of course, we've talked about Ochai Agbaji. He's phenomenal. And then we've got Mo's guy, Christian Braun. He also shoots from outside well. Didn't shoot it great against Villanova, but he's shown flashes and he had some clutch buckets. So I think it's Kansas's game to win.
I like Kansas here too, but the run that North Carolina's been on has been pretty crazy, I guess, even for an 8 seed, especially with a first-year head coach. So Kansas hasn't won a national championship since 2008, which was, I think, it wasn't the Derrick Rose Memphis team, was it?
I think so, right? I thought
it was. Mario. Was that Mario Chalmers?
It was the Morris twins. Twins, Cole Aldrich.
I try to repress that.
Yeah, and then North Carolina last one in 2017. So,
yeah.
I hope Kansas wins for the sake of North Carolina's done it recently.
Yeah, you like more parity in sports, so I think that does help. Even though they're considered a blue blood as well, it's been a while since they've won.
Well, I think the real loser here will be Eric Church's fans. So
how mad would you be if you bought tickets to that concert and he said, "Oh, I'd rather watch the game"?
I would be upset.
Because people have probably been waiting for a long time because of the pandemic to go to a concert like that. And he's like, "Oh, never mind. I'm gonna go watch a basketball game."
So I recently bought tickets to a concert that's gonna happen in September, and I've got to go to Oklahoma City. Imagine if I was put in that position, bought a hotel, and they're like, "No, we're going to go watch basketball."
Who is it? Or are you too embarrassed to say?
It's Pearl Jam.
Oh,
Um,
okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Like
Cool.
on Friday, Andy's driving over there. Like,
Well, it's on
hey,
a Tuesday, so I won't be
on a
driving until
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
What?
Yeah, taking off work.
Dang. I didn't
Uh,
know if you were gonna see Pearl Jam or the Wiggles or who.
Yeah, I want some fruit salad or
Yummy,
whatever that song is.
yummy.
Yep. Well, the team that ended Coach K's career, North Carolina, Mike Krzyzewski has retired officially after 42
Really?
years of coaching.
Of terrorizing people.
Do it?
Of terrorizing people.
He'll pull a Tom Brady and unretire.
Nah. Okay.
Yeah.
But Coach K is one of the most decorated, well-known coaches in college basketball history. I don't want to call him the best because you still have John Wooden and whatnot.
Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson.
I forgot about his love for Avery.
Telling you.
Do you like Jerry Stackhouse a lot too?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't have the numbers because it was kind of late. There's a lot of stuff happened this week to where I couldn't get to it, but I believe Coach K has won the most games of any college basketball coach of all time.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's somewhere in the thousands.
Yeah, if not, he's pretty close. I mean, you're going to get there coaching 42 years, but I get it sounds like you guys are glad he's going to be gone.
Oh, I sure am. I didn't like the guy.
He carried himself too big, and then like he was a big deal, and then I heard he's like kind of I don't know. It was like a really kind of reminded me of my football coach from high school, like that kind of attitude, like really old
back
school,
to
like
this.
laying it on people. And
I did hear he was
yeah,
pretty rude, but
JJ Redick, I think he did a podcast and he was talking about that like even on him he like would lay it on JJ Redick, and like he was the biggest deal at Duke. So I'm like, bro, like even if you were a bench guy, like what JJ
Redick exposing everybody on that podcast. It's funny. But yeah, even though like I didn't personally like him, you got to admit like he was super great. I think he brought more than 5 titles to Duke, something like that. May have been 5 or 6. Started his career at West Point. I saw where he started his Duke career with a loss to North Carolina and now ended it with one. So bookended really nice. And then ended his career against North Carolina 50-50. So right at 500. It's just so storybook. Andy sounds like he's got a problem to take care of.
Well,
somebody's mad. Coach K got beat.
Yeah, Hezekiah is a huge Coach K fan. 12 and a half months old, and he's the biggest Coach K fan.
What are your thoughts on the Coach K stuff, Andy?
I was thinking earlier today, like I know you guys don't really like him. I haven't heard much of his personality, so. But I was kind of thinking more along the lines of how I've kind of developed an appreciation for Greg Popovich over time. Whereas I used to was annoyed about the Spurs winning all the time and annoyed at Greg Popovich. But over time, I've learned to really appreciate Popovich, and now I wish the Bulls were coached by Popovich. In all honesty, but
we'll get to that.
But I kind of feel the same way about Krzyzewski, whereas he's Duke's good all the time, but I kind of have built a respect for him over time. So
that's fair enough, yeah. And now we'll see. Next year we'll have UNC's second-year coach and Duke's first-year coach. It'll be really interesting to see if they can keep those programs doing what they're doing, or if we're going to see some new teams rise up.
Yeah, I had wondered about that because, I mean, I assume that just the school alone will get recruits.
Oh, of course.
But you just never know if the coaching is going to work out.
Well, and Hubert Davis had been there, hadn't he, for a while? So the players have pretty much known and respected him. And I think the same can be said with Coach K's predecessor. So I really don't think we're going to see a whole lot change. The only thing that we might see different is maybe offensive and defensive scheming and things like that. I think recruiting will stay the same for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. Going from an older coach to a younger coach, Shaheen Holloway is heading back to his alma mater after his historic run as St. Peter's coach. Went to Seton Hall He's coached 4 seasons, all with St. Peter's, or head coach, I should say. But he's going back to Seton Hall to. Is this a feel-good story, or do you guys think that he deserves to be the coach there?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He played there. It's all right there in the New Jersey area, and I mean, it's actually crazy that what he did at St. Peter's. I mean, not just this year, but like all those 4 years. Because St. Peter's like small as small can be. Like small school, private school. So there's a lot of limitations. Like when it comes to giving scholarships and all that stuff. So doing what he did there, that's actually pretty fast if you think about it, because he went from this program all the way to a Big East program,
Mhm.
and like and Seton Hall definitely is gonna. They've been putting in the money towards their basketball program recently. I mean, if you think about it, they played for national championships back in the was it like 70s and 80s. So it's just like kind of those things. I
Mhm.
guess they just haven't found the right coach to get him going. So maybe he can do it.
Yeah, that's a good program, and I'm super happy for him because obviously he's going to get the bag there, and he's just made so much of an impact on St. Peter's. I was super happy to see that his entire team of St. Peter's was actually at the press conference at Seton Hall cheering him on, which you never see. And that just shows how much of an impact that coach has had on those guys. And it was great to see. So I'm super happy for him. I obviously a little bit selfishly wanted him to stay at St. Peter's to kind of continue that, but you can only build a program like that so much, and I think that's kind of the top end what they did this year. I think Seton Hall was the right move. Like Mo said, he went there. I think it'll be great for him to take that huge step up so early in his career, and we can see what they can do.
Yeah, it is a feel-good story for sure. Coach comes back to his alma mater, and the thing that I kind of worry about with the fans is that their expectation will be super high of him.
That's true.
Just because he played there, and because my dad's a huge Cubs fan, and several years ago, it was talked about Ryan Sandberg being a manager of the Cubs. It never happened, but he brought up, my dad didn't want Sandberg's legacy potentially to be ruined because he might have been managing a bad Cubs team. And I mean, I know college basketball is different. You can recruit players and whatnot, and I'm sure he'll get some good recruits in, especially being familiar with Seton Hall. He can sell them on the brand and all that stuff. His career coaching record is 64-57, all with St. Peter's. First year they went 10-22. Second year they finished in second. Third year they finished in third. This last year they finished in second. In small conference, it's like Mo said, it's a big step up. So,
do you think he'll get some transfers from St. Peter's, or do you think they'll stay, or what do you think is going to happen there?
I can see it. I mean, like I said, he's gonna be able to sell the brand. I'm sure, like you pointed out that the St. Peter's players were there. Maybe if they can keep their scholarship, get on another scholarship, or because also, I mean, we saw the exposure that St. Peter's got this tournament, and it brought Doug Edert a NIL. So I mean, the opportunities at a bigger school might be there for more ways to put money in the players' pockets too. So, I don't know.
Do you want to stick with college basketball here and talk about some players that are going pro, or do we want to move on?
Yeah, we can jump on that.
Okay, I didn't know as far as time went where you wanted to go with that.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, so I saw where Purdue's Jaden Ivey, Wisconsin's Johnny Davis, and then most recently we had Arkansas's JD Note all have declared for the draft. Andy and I were talking before the podcast a little bit, looking at mock drafts to see where each of these guys would go. Brad Davidson or Johnny Davis, I think. I may have given you the wrong name earlier.
Yeah, I'll look it up real quick.
Okay, thank you. So we saw where Jaden Ivey was projected to be probably high lottery. We're looking anywhere 1 to 5. And then JD Note was late second round. Mo, do you think Note is going to be taken in the draft?
I don't know. I think just Arkansas always has bad luck when it comes to the NBA draft, and I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe second round.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were thinking too. I mean, that's where they've got him mocked at. But we were thinking, if Mason Jones and Isaiah Joe can't really make a huge impact in the NBA, then I don't think JD Note will either. And as far as from a team perspective, I think JD Note going to the draft actually benefits Arkansas's team a little bit. He was a high volume shooter, and having all these 5 stars come in next year, when I say all these, there's 3 of them, but that's still great for Arkansas.
More than any other year.
Yeah. But having those shots taken away from those guys would be detrimental in my opinion. So I think him going to the draft is good kind of for both parties. I am a little surprised because I don't know if he is going to get drafted. If he is, it'll be late second round and he could end up being a perennial bench player or worse. So we'll see.
Yeah, because in the NBA draft, you got all the college people and then you have all the international people and it's only 2 rounds, so that's it,
Well, not only that too, now you've got the G League Ignite people as well, and the guys who have set out of high school may have played in other league or not high school, college, and may have played in other leagues like the overtime league or things like that. So it's a lot of names in the draft.
I think, man, unless you're gonna be maybe a top 10 pick, probably best for you to just stay there,
I don't know about just limiting to that. I think maybe if you're considered solidly first round, high second round, but anything after that, I think I would consider your options.
Yeah, and it's not insurmountable that a second round pick will be can be an all-star. I wanted to say Kawhi Leonard, but he was a first round pick. There's
Jokic.
Yeah, you have guys like Jokic and
Draymond Green.
Yeah, there's
Isaiah Thomas. Yeah.
There's guys that can make their name out of the second round. But mainly those guys are going to be role players or may not even stick around the NBA. So you never know what's going to happen with them.
You've got guys that could go undrafted and do well too. Look at Fred VanVleet. It's typically not going to happen, but like you said, it can.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, you have guys like Anthony Bennett who are out of the league within 3 years.
Yeah,
who are picked first. Johnny Davis is anywhere from 5 to 9 from the 3 mocks I picked.
So
he's
wow!
In that next 5 or 6 to 9. Sorry, so he's in that next 5.
Higher than I thought.
So, you have any more on college basketball?
I don't think so. Let me look and make sure. Of course, as you said, we've all had some crazy weeks, so notes are a little scarce.
Does the LSU basketball team, everybody transferred out?
Yeah. So they hired Murray State's old coach. So in turn, Murray State's guys are probably going to be coming to LSU. LSU guys are going out. Yeah. So it's a mess over there. That's not in a position I'd want to be in.
No. Literally, right? Everybody, I guess, that was on scholarship, transferred down.
Yep.
Or went to the draft.
They got 0 right now.
Yep. That's rough. LSU is probably going to have some down years.
Good job, Will Wade.
Yep. Well, Kansas is about to get hit with some stuff too, though. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I was reading somewhere recently that they may be hit with some stuff.
So try to get that championship first.
Yep. I guess we can stick with Orange Ball.
I was gonna say, good job.
Move up a level. I kind of. Well, let's talk about this. Why not? So earlier this week, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw Shaquille O'Neal had said that Giannis Antetokounmpo could, in the future, be the best player in the NBA, and it got me thinking, who can we put above him right now if he's the future, or is he already the best player in the NBA? You guys have any thoughts about that?
It's kind of early, no?
Early? You think so?
Yeah.
He's been balling out. He's got an MVP under his belt. He's got a title. I think he's over 30 points per game in scoring this season. So is it too early?
One of his best years of his career right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like the bar is kind of high. They're Michael Jordan and then LeBron.
Well, he's talking about best players in the league right now.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah. Right now, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You think you can make that argument? Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, as long as Kevin Durant's playing, I don't think you can knock Kevin Durant from that top spot. Just last night he dropped 55 in a loss on some efficient shooting, and that's just the Nets team being the net. Kyrie had 31 points on 32 shots, so I mean, you can't put that on Durant. But I think Durant just scores so well at each level. I think his defense is underrated. He's obviously got a huge driving passion for the game. He's actually averaging over 30 points per game this season as well. He's just not eligible for the scoring title because of games missed. But I think all around, Kevin Durant's just got it. If I looked at, because I was curious, Giannis said he wanted to be known for more than a run and dunk guy. He wanted to be more efficient from the outside. And from what I saw, he's averaging, I think, maybe 3.1 or 3.2 3-point attempts per game, shooting them at 30%. And then Durant's averaging 5 3-point attempts per game, shooting 33.3%. So Kevin Durant can shoot the outside ball better, the mid-range better. Obviously, Giannis can get to the rim, but I still like Durant in this argument.
Yeah, I think Durant does have, you're right. I think Durant has a pretty clear argument to be the best player in the NBA. And I think a lot of people probably point to those Golden State years to try and knock him down a little bit. But, regardless, he was still arguably the best player in the NBA. Nikola Jokic has put up the most win shares the last couple of years. And, he's been ridiculous. So you can throw him in the mix. I know people want to throw in Curry for just strictly shooting purposes.
Not this year, though.
People still want to point to LeBron as being the best, even though I
think you could make that argument.
Yeah, even though he's 37, he's leading the league in points per game right now.
It's ridiculous.
And then I think Kawhi Leonard probably gets forgotten because he's hurt right now. So
such a strange career trajectory he's on right now.
Yeah.
So we'll have to pay attention to that and see. If he does come back, we've seen the impact that Paul George has had already on the Clippers and their playoff rankings. Like if Kawhi comes back to the Suns, the Grizzlies, those top 2 seeds may be in trouble.
Yeah. But I will say, as a Bulls fan, I do hate that Giannis is on the Bucks because I love Giannis. It's so hard to not like him. But
that's funny that you say that because last year when the Suns were playing in the finals, they were playing against the Bucks. I tried so hard to hate the Bucks and Giannis, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, oh, this sucks. I guess at least we have to lose to this nice guy, but I was trying to hate on him. I couldn't do it. They're so likable.
Yeah. Well, and also, maybe an underrated player that doesn't get in this conversation, I think that has to be thrown in here is Chris Paul, just because every team he goes to is automatically a lot better. And I know he's getting up there in age and whatnot, but he makes every team he's on better.
Yeah, he absolutely has. I'm still blown away at the impact he's had on the Suns, and not even just from an on-the-court perspective, which has been phenomenal, but also mentoring these young guys and seeing guys like Cameron Payne, who we thought was long gone,
my team kicked him
not gonna work out, and Chris Paul pretty much brought him back. He's resurrected Bismack Biyombo's career. He got DeAndre Jordan the bag after the Clippers, and we see Jordan's not doing anything now. He got Blake Griffin paid. I see where you're coming from as far as an impact goes. He's just head and shoulders above almost anybody.
Yeah. I forgot to ask Mo if he thinks Coach K is the best coach of all time in college.
In college? No. He's okay.
Who's the
probably Bruce Pearl.
Bruce Pearl. I can't stand that guy.
He's probably the best.
Let me stick on NBA. I know you're about to move on.
I was going to stick with NBA. So
okay, go ahead.
Good. I was just going to talk about there's a couple bigger injuries to a couple of players. Robert Williams III, he's out 46 weeks after a successful surgery on a torn meniscus. He's been steadily getting better every year.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going to have Grant Williams. Is that who? And
Yeah.
Al Horford and Daniel Theus
Yeah.
stepping into that role.
Let me stop you on the Robert Williams stuff. From what I can understand, he had I want to say it was a partial MCL tear. Is that correct? Or was it meniscus?
I think
it was a meniscus.
It said meniscus earlier.
Okay. From what I understand, there's two options with that. So they can either go in and repair and keep the entire meniscus together and repair it, but it takes a longer recovery. I think substantially longer, or they can go in and remove the part that's torn, and that's a shorter recovery, and that's what he chose. So we need to pay attention to see if that has any impact on his career.
Right.
Hopefully not, but from that, I mean, like I said, that's just my understanding. Not a doctor here, but that's the route he has gone, and hopefully it doesn't turn into anything long term, because you're right. He's certainly been a crucial part of that Celtics surge lately.
Yeah, he's averaging 10 points per game, 9.6 rebounds per game. He has 9.9 win shares on the season thus far. Last year,
blocks? How many blocks he has?
Oh, I didn't get those. I'll find it real quick.
No, you're good.
But
I just know that's been a huge part of his game.
Yeah, he has 9. So the 9.9 win shares is higher than his previous high of 5.3, and his value over a replacement player is 3.3, and his previous high last year was 2. So he's definitely gotten better this year.
It definitely changed from the guy that overslept and what did he oversleep and miss his draft meeting or something like that? It was something crazy. It was really funny.
So blocks 2.2 per game.
Oh goodness,
pretty good.
That's pretty great. That's actually higher than I thought.
And then Steph Curry, he's injured. And Spencer, I'll direct a question to you here in a second. Curry's out for the remainder of the season. It's iffy on him when he can return for the playoffs or not. The Warriors have clinched a playoff spot. They're half a game ahead of the Mavericks for third right now. So I know Draymond Green has been out for a while. He recently came back. Klay Thompson was out for a majority of the season at the beginning. This Warriors team hasn't played fully healthy together yet. Does that kind of scare you, Spencer?
As far as if the Suns had to match up against them in the West? No. I would, in years past, I would say yes, but I think they're hitting a really rough patch at the worst time possible. I think even when they do have a majority of their guys together, they're susceptible to an inside attack for sure, because you mentioned injuries. Wiseman's out, and he's been out all season, and they've done well before the All-Star break without him, but I think it's starting to show cracks in that team where they need a big man to really help them compete. I don't think this year's Warriors team is near as scary as teams in the past, because you've seen Klay Thompson still trying to come back from injury. He's up and down. You see Andrew Wiggins is kind of up and down. He had a great first half of the season, but kind of dropped off a little bit. You do have some other role players that are playing well, like Gary Payton II, and Kuminga's playing good, and then Jordan Poole's surprisingly playing really well. But I think they're not near as scary as years past. I think if you want to talk about a scary team, like I mentioned earlier, the Clippers would be one of them. Surprisingly, the Timberwolves are looking really formidable nowadays. And I think the scariest team in the West has got to be right now the Grizzlies, because they're, I want to say, like 20-2 without Ja, and they just beat the Suns pretty handily. That's a good team.
Yeah. Are you scared of the Warriors, Mauricio?
No, I think they fit their wall, You
need to worry about your team just making it in the play-in.
Yeah.
I'm about there too, so.
Yeah. The Bulls, so what? The Bulls have dropped to 6th now?
I'm looking it up now.
I want to say that they've avoided the play-in officially. I don't think they have to worry about that right now, but their fall has been absolutely insane. Meanwhile, you've got teams in the East like the Heat, the Bucks, and there was somebody else who was the Celtics, of course, all surging in a positive way, and then you've got the Bulls trending down.
Yeah,
Does that scare you?
A little bit. I mean, I don't expect them to. Earlier in the season, if you asked me if I thought they'd go very far, I would say yes. Now, I don't think they will. They're 2 games above the Cavaliers for the 7th seed, so there's plenty of time for them to still drop. And I saw a stat recently where the Bulls haven't beaten any of the top, like their record against the top teams in the NBA is horrible. Like they haven't won a game, and they got beat by the Heat last night, maybe. And so, yeah, I'm not too high on them right now. Maybe if Lonzo comes back and he can add some defense, but because right now they're playing a lot of small ball with Caruso and I forget his name, another guard,
White.
Maybe, but they're going out with a small lineup with Levine, DeRozan, and Vucevic in the backcourt.
So Patrick Williams is not starting at this point. He's still coming off the bench.
Okay. I think so. So
I was just curious.
Yep. We've got 5.5 minutes. You think we can cover this Doc Rivers, James Harden thing?
Quick? It's not a whole lot to it.
Cool. So, the Nets got beat by. No, I'm sorry. The 76ers got beat by the Pistons the other night. And Doc Rivers threw James Harden under the bus. Just for context, Harden was 4 of 15 from the field, and the bench only shot 12 times. And so basically, the question was asked, did the bench just not contribute? And Doc Rivers said something along the lines of, no, James Harden shot too much for how efficient he was on the night. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
He's showing his true colors again.
Yeah, hey, I actually agree with you. I think
Rivers?
This is classic. Yeah, this is classic Doc Rivers. I think he's done it in the past in LA. We've seen it a little bit in Boston, and now here. He just he's got a habit of doing this kind of stuff, and I think the players have even come out and said stuff about him doing that in the past, and how he refuses to take responsibility for the losses. He likes to deflect blame a lot, and we see it again here. And I'll say that though, but also he's not wrong. He's not wrong in this instance, but that's just not something you come out and say. It definitely doesn't help player rapport in the locker room when you come out and say stuff like this. But I mean, to be fair, he is right.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the stats at least the amount of times people shot, and I was trying to see what kind of rotation they used, like how many players they're using in rotation, and they dug pretty far into the bench from what it looked like. It's just the starters had put up a ton of shots, including Harden's 4 of 15. I think Embiid was 11 of 19. Tobias Harris was 6 of 9. It's just they put up a lot of shots, and I think just. But you're right though, because Rivers, him talking about Ben Simmons was what kind of led Ben Simmons away, who is now seeking salary relief from the 76ers in form of a lawsuit, I think. So just, Doc Rivers he's a good coach, but I think he probably does.
Is he a good coach?
This is the debate that we were talking about a couple weeks ago when Mauricio said Popovich wasn't a good coach.
Yeah. So. Well, I just know that, Doc Rivers, he's obviously got a title. He's riding that high off the one title. But I think when you have a history of blowing, 3-1 leads like that, it's not a good look, especially, you can't perform in crunch time, and then you have this piled on top of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point because, he's had a lot of talent to coach in his career and has wondering to show for it. So,
I was gonna point directly to the Clippers teams, especially.
Yeah. And those Celtic teams were just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So, and I think you talk about the lack of bench scoring for the 76ers. I think that's just a really top heavy team, and unfortunately for them, they got rid of 2 of their best role players in that trade with of Ben Simmons. So it definitely didn't help them out in that case.
Yeah. But Harden's always been a high volume kind of guy, though. So
from what I've seen, his stats have regressed to being the same as what they were with the Nets, which weren't great to start the season. But
well, Spencer, did you have anything else for basketball before we move on?
I did not. It's time to squish that ball a little bit, probably, and make it oblong.
All right, so we're headed to the National Feetball League. Where do you guys want to start? The Bobby Wagner, Bruce Arians overtime rules. Anything else?
Start general with overtime rules.
Okay. Yeah. So overtime rules, of course, we talked about this a few weeks ago that the NFL is looking at changing them after the big debate after the Chiefs and Bills playoff game in the divisional round. I believe that's the round it was, where the Chiefs won on their first possession. I think we all agreed that the overtime rules needed to be changed. We didn't know exactly what the best way to change it was. But the NFL has went ahead and changed playoff format for overtime rules. It's now each team gets a shot in the overtime. Is this a good change? Do you think it will bring another debate up, or do they need to do something else?
I think it's a good start. I'm actually kind of surprised they did it. The NFL has been kind of historically hard-headed about stuff like this, but obviously they're not keeping it for the regular season, which sucks. But like I said, it's a start. At least they're doing it in the games that really, really count, really matter in the playoffs. I think it's still, to me, it's not a step far enough because what is it? One possession each and then sudden death.
Yeah.
So it's essentially the same problem with an extra step between.
Yeah.
So if both teams score, you still have the same issue.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't think it's enough, but like I said, it's a great start. So there's at least opportunity for less controversy in that case.
You kind of agree with that, Mauricio?
Yeah, I kind of wish it was like for the regular season too. But I don't know because it's still gonna end up like because probably both teams are gonna score, with that each first position they get, and then then we're kind of back in the same spot where it's like sudden death again, and I don't know. I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, especially if you have a situation like the game you mentioned, the game in question, the Chiefs and the Bills, where both defenses were gassed and both offenses couldn't be stopped. Obviously, you've still got the same situation.
Yeah. Again. Yeah, and I also thought about like, what if neither team scores in that situation, and you go to sudden death, and neither team will score throughout the. It just.
Yeah.
I know the sudden death will probably include field goals for a win from there on out, but we've seen teams not be able to score in an overtime period. So, and once you're talking playoffs, something's got to give, so you can not be too gassed for the next game. I know that falls strictly on the team whether they go out there, but I wonder if at some point they'll decide to force teams to go for two after touchdowns and see if a team doesn't make it or whatnot. So.
I don't think you're going to have to worry with the way the league's trending. I don't think you're going to have to worry about both teams not scoring a bunch in overtime because everything's been skewed for the offense of late. So I mean, the league wants more offense. The offenses have been super high powered lately. I don't think that's an issue you'll have to worry about.
Right. Well, Bruce Arians has decided to hang it up. It's kind of an odd time for him to announce that. And this is, I think, where the part of the show where I was going to point to where Mauricio was going to have some fun. Because
he needs his own conspiracy intro music.
Yep. Is that what you want it to be? We'll find something. Mauricio's conspiracies.
Make him sing it himself.
So there was talk after the season that Bruce Arians and Tom Brady weren't getting along. Do you think that's kind of what led Bruce Arians to retire, Mauricio? Or
yeah,
let me go first before he blows the roof off this thing. I've got a quote here, and so and I'll give my opinion after it. So here's the quote from Bruce Arians. He said, quote, "It hit me after the Super Bowl. I thought really hard about going out on top. Then it was like, nah, let's go for two. The 2021 season was a grind with all the injuries, but still winning and getting to where we got. Immediately after 2 to 3 weeks afterward, I thought if I quit, my coaches get fired. I couldn't do it then. Tom was kind of the key. When Tom decided to come back and all of these guys back now, it's the perfect timing for me to go into the front office and still have the relationships that I love." So basically, he's saying that, obviously, because it's right there, he's saying if he quits, his coaches are gone too, which makes sense because the new coaches kind of bring in their own regime. So I've not been a big Bruce Arians fan in the past, but I definitely respect this decision for him, regardless of if there's any other reasons behind it. Him saying that about the coaches and not leaving them out high and dry is definitely the opposite of how a lot of coaches have been lately. So I can certainly respect him for that. Now the conspiracy corner with Mauricio.
It was more like so like Tom retires and then he's like, oh, okay, I'm good to go. Like I'm gonna coach another 10 years. And then Tom Brady's like, hey, I'm coming back. And then he's like, well, I'm not coaching anymore. And it kind of worked out because if you think about it, if he did want to coach again and Tom Brady came back, the front office would have been like, hey, we need you to pack your bags. Tom doesn't like you anymore, So, but it's kind of weird that he's still staying like with like an office kind of job there, because he's still gonna be around. He's still gonna have some input,
Not around Tom Daly though. Not Tom Daly, but not around Tom Brady Daly.
They're gonna give him an office, but it's like it's like in an office building down the road from the actual like facilities. Like that way, like we just don't want you to talk to him.
Do you think? Because I think if you're right, we'll see this. But do you think he'll have a coaching job in the future?
I think so. I think like if something comes up in after this season and like he feels good about it, he'll probably like, hey, I'm gonna go that way.
We'll have to play this back if that happens. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I don't know about that. He's already 69, has retired once before for health issues. So
nice.
And then he came back,
Yeah, that's why I was cracking up when he said coaching another 10 years.
Yeah, dude, like what's
Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll. No, but who remember the guy that was like the defensive coordinator?
Dick LeBeau
for the Cowboys a couple years ago.
What is
Wade Phillips or
no? It was Rod Marinelli.
I forgot his name, but he was like, I think it was like closer to 80, and he was still around. So I'm like, you can't stop these people. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He's probably gonna be like 16. He's still probably gonna be playing. Like he's gonna be back up somewhere.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know, man.
Mauricio's all about the kids, so he's gonna feel bad for Tom's kids.
Yeah, think about it. Like their whole life, they don't see their dad for like half a year. Well, maybe maybe they like it. Like now they gotten used to it. They're like, he's not around to like, get mad at this or like maybe do this or maybe
kiss his kids on the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Kiss his son on the mouth.
Way too old to be doing that. Yeah. But you think his kids play Madden to get closer with him?
Yeah, they're like, oh no, they no, you know what? They probably like play like the opposing team, and they're like, let's sack that, and maybe he'll get hurt and he'll come home.
Do they sack that?
Do they trade Ndamukong Suh on to another team to the team they're playing
and use him against Tom?
Yeah, so they can stomp on his head or his arm.
There's so many quotes that Mauricio has. We need to get them on shirts. Like, where are you, Dad? And we can sack Dad.
What's it the Brady kids the last years?
It's like, well, see, you just break everything. I was gonna make a slap joke there, but anyway, yeah. So I heard. I mean, it's kind of along the lines of what you were talking about, Spencer. I heard that Bruce Arians wanted to give Todd Bowles a good roster instead of giving him a bad one. Which, I mean, they were going to be a transitional team with Tom Brady away.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's true, that is a pretty generous thing for Bruce Arians to do. But as Brandon Perna of That's Good Sports has pointed out, Bruce Arians once cut a player for parking in his parking spot. So I don't know if Arians is that generous of a guy.
He seems like the kind of guy to do it.
Yeah. But again, the NFC is pretty weak though. So yeah, just things kind of fall into place for Tom Brady again.
Shocker.
Evil man. Just kidding. Well, Mauricio will be happy about this next part.
I'm not.
One of the big names in free agency that are still left has signed a 5-year, $50 million contract that could be worth up to $65 million. He was a part of the Legion of Boom. His name is Bobby Wagner. So, is this a situation of the rich get richer? Was it a good move to kind of replace Von Miller with Bobby Wagner?
Yeah, because it's like he's younger, right? Like he's younger than Vaughn.
Bobby Wagner's 32. I think Vaughn is 31.
So he said wrong.
Or they're about the same age.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Now I gotta think about it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, my question is like, is he that good? Like, because didn't the Seahawks cut him? Now, keep in mind, I am a little less knowledgeable about all this, and I saw that all signs were pointing to him signing with the Ravens. But that's besides.
So now
fact.
you're mad.
But, yeah, of course. But so the Seahawks waived him, right?
Yeah, he had a 1-year, $11 million contract left.
So was that just for salary purposes, or
yeah? I don't think they wanted to commit to another big contract with him.
Yeah, well, I could probably also see him wanting out too, since they traded Russell Wilson.
Yeah, okay.
He want to be part of the rebuild.
So I was wrong. Von Miller is 33, so it's not that much of a age difference.
I don't know. It just seems like a lateral move then.
Yeah, well, they also play two different positions. Von Miller's an edge rusher, whereas Bobby Wagner's a Mike linebacker. So,
but
does this close the door for an Odell Beckham Jr. return as well with the cap, or they just don't even care about the cap? I guess probably.
He'll probably take Bitcoin again.
Yeah, right.
Hold on, I'll see what the cap space is for.
Well, can you like say like, hey, I'm gonna sign you for this much, but then like have a different account, send them like more money.
What?
They can always sign OBJ to the Deshaun Watson style.
I was just gonna say it's kind of like the restructuring you talked about last episode.
The Rams have $8.8 million left in cap space. I imagine a lot of that would probably go toward the draft with their 2 picks. So.
I'm surprised though, because that seems to me like Odell Beckham's probably gone, right? And surprising to me because he played so well over there, and I thought they really had something going with him prior to the injury.
Yeah, well, they traded for Allen Robinson, right? Or was he signed?
No, they just signed him.
They signed him, and then they traded Robert Woods to Tennessee. I kind of feel like the Rams would bring OBJ back just on a
1 year
let him rehab, or or even a prove it deal, and then I don't know, because he's kind of familiar with the Rams, or the Rams are willing to take a chance on. I don't know, but back to Bobby Wagner just for a second. He was a second team All Pro this last season, still at 32, and he is a Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler. Finished with 170 tackles. The middle linebacker is usually the quarterback of the defense, so I'm sure that'll help them a little bit more in the second level. But again, he's 32, so, and with the Rams not having any draft picks until like the 4th round, it probably is a good move for them.
I'll be rooting against them.
Other big names still on the market are Stephon Gilmore, Tyrann Mathieu, Jadeveon Clowney, Melvin Ingram, OBJ. I'm sure.
I didn't realize all those guys were still available.
Yeah, there's still a few.
That's a lot of pretty good talent out there.
Yeah,
in the market for people to get.
Yeah, I saw about 3 teams attached to Stephon Gilmore, and the Chiefs are one of them.
We've seen a lot of people attached to Gilmore and to Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah. So we'll see where those guys end up, because I don't know.
The Honey Badger's still there?
Yeah, he's still out there. No one's
the Honey Badgers to the Rams.
No, him and Ramsey. There's no way.
But I would play him as like an outside linebacker.
Who are you getting rid of to get him though? Outside linebacker.
Yeah, like on 3rd down for rush, just like to rush like.
You're only playing him on third down?
Yeah. I would spend money on players like that, like that are maybe like that, like at an age, but they can still do like, they could come in on third downs or stuff like that when you need a big play.
So I was just looking at this over the cap thing, and we were all joking about how the Saints didn't have any money to spend. They were like in the worst cap situation in the league. Somehow they've created $19.5 million in cap space.
Oh, a lot of it was on Marcus Williams. Is that his name? The safety that they traded to the Ravens. A lot of it had to deal with that, and then I want to say they did something else to free up. I can't remember, but yeah, I did see that. But I mean, good on them. They needed to do something, and not only that, they also re-signed Jameis, so they've got their quarterback situation where it's not Taysom Hill again. And then now I guess they got to figure out what to do with their star receiver.
Yep, and Alvin Kamara.
That's true. Yeah, I forget about his legal stuff, but we know the NFL is not going to care.
Yep.
Like if you would have known that he was going to get arrested and all this stuff, like trade him like in the offseason right before.
Oh, okay.
Be like, you could read his head and be like, oh, he's going to attack somebody. Let's trade him now. And then get rid of the contract, and then like the next week they're like, "Oh, he's been arrested." I'm like,
so just a couple other things I wanted to bring up that I kind of saw this week. Antonio Brown has posted that he doesn't know why he has not been getting paid like some of these star receivers are, and thinks he can still contribute. And
he's also refusing to get surgery until a team signs him, which is so backwards.
Yeah. So. That guy has something wrong with him. Like,
oh, for sure.
I don't know.
The CTE stuff, dude. It's probably starting to show up.
I don't think anybody's taking another chance on him.
Oh no. And then I saw something this morning. The Washington Commanders. This should be no surprise to anyone. They held back shared revenue with other teams. In terms of ticket sales, and I also saw where they had printed out two separate, I forget what it was, but two separate kind of revenue models or things for, so they've got some bigger fish to fry than the NFL.
Well, that's like Goodell has been crap on that whole situation, but when they're talking about taking money out of pockets, I think they might actually take the team away from him, but then they'll just do some crap like give it to his wife and he'll just claim that he doesn't have any control.
That's a joke in itself.
Dan
Snyder should not have control of a franchise, because wasn't it, am I thinking it wrong, or was it the Panthers owner a few years ago had some racist statements and he was kind of ousted as an owner?
I can't remember that. Unless you were, I know the NBA, we had Donald Sterling, of course.
I remember that, but I thought there was some Carolina Panthers thing.
It could have been. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. And they're in the same division too, aren't they?
No.
Oh, they're the same conference.
Yeah. It looks like. Yep. Jerry Richardson is selling the NFL franchise amid accusations that include sexual harassment and a racial slur. So
there is precedence.
Yeah, somehow Dan Snyder is able to keep his team while other owners are doing the same. Or
he's got naked pictures of Goodell.
He's got something.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have anything else on the NFL?
Let's squish the ball a little more. To a little round ball.
Is there other things you wanted to hit on, Spencer? I know you mentioned earlier that you may have some other
on the NFL. I did,
just in general.
Okay. We're a little bit. I don't want to get too far into it because we're a little strapped for time, and I don't know how much input you guys would want to have on it. I was just going to talk about the World Cup draw.
Yeah, we can. We can talk about that. I'm sure we'll have time. So opening day for the Major League Baseball is Thursday, which is why I'm wearing this hat and jersey. I hate the Cubs. No, I'm just kidding. I can't say that fully. But what I will say is I hate the St. Louis Cardinals, and Albert Pujols is heading back to the Cardinals.
So much hate.
I know, and I'm from Missouri, so there's that.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols signed a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. He is 42 years old. He has 21 home runs. He's 21 home runs away from 700, which only 3 players in Major League Baseball history have surpassed 700 home runs. That's
Think
Barry
he'll get
Bonds,
it?
Aaron, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth.
Also, I love it how in your notes you had the asterisk next to Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that was just for fun. I'll get to my thoughts on this in a second because, I mean, I'm the baseball guy here. So, but anyway, I'll let you guys talk.
It was just funny because I was watching people post memes and stuff about him coming back to St. Louis.
Because how many of them were from the bench warmers?
A couple. But it's just funny because like when he left for and everything, and
Mauricio's frozen.
What about now?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, internet station's unstable. Sorry.
Oh, now you know how I've been doing.
And then like now that he's coming back, everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's back!" And it's like everybody's happy. And I'm like, a couple years ago, everybody was like wishing death on him, and now like, oh, he's back. Like, oh yeah, like it's the best times again.
I used to be a Cardinals fan when I was paying attention to baseball.
Cardinal fans don't stop watching us.
And I really liked Albert Pujols during that time, and I thought he was a great guy off the field. I remember in school I did a report on the guy. He has some kind of charity. I did a report on him. Like the guy, he's nice.
I am 12.
And gosh. And I think it's a really good storybook ending for him and for his career, whether you like the Cardinals or not. I mean, it's just nice for him to kind of go back and get that reunion and kind of mend things with the Cardinals. And then my other player, just to kind of throw it out there that I really liked, was Yadier Molina. And I believe he's still there, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, just a bunch of fun guys, just a bunch of nice guys, great players. They've got championships. Just what a team.
Well, obviously, as a Cubs fan, honestly, last year, whenever the ties were severed with the Angels, I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if he went back to St. Louis. I mean, just as a baseball fan.
You wanted him in Chicago.
No, I don't want him in Chicago. But just as a baseball fan, it's kind of cool for Pujols to go back there, where it all started. And I mean, I didn't like him when he was playing because he was the best player in the NBA, and he was on my least favorite team. Yeah, I'm watching NBA. He's the worst. He's the best player.
Incredible.
He can do anything. I am 12. He's the best player in Major League Baseball, and.
Wait, before we continue, I gotta bring up that I was scrolling through I don't know, one of the streaming services, and I passed Benchwarmers, and I asked Bria because I thought she'd like it. I said, "Have you ever seen Benchwarmers?" And she goes, "I watched a little bit of it, but I was grossed out. Like, why are they farting in people's faces?" And I laughed so hard. Anyway,
but we've got the trio of Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols, so Cubs fans will have fun.
Wainwright's still there?
He is still there.
Uncle Charlie's still there. He's got to be old.
Yeah,
well, all of them, I guess.
Yeah. Pujols is 42. Molina, I imagine he's...
Is Pujols really 42?
He's 12.
Well, jeez. Is he... So he's just going to be a DH, right?
Yeah. Okay. And, you asked if I think he will be... If he'll get to 700. I don't.
No, what was his? Do you know his stats last year?
I had them up earlier. So he's hit 21 home runs since 2017. He's hit at least 21. He had 23 in 2019. But he's 42. His hitting's gone down. He won't. I don't think he'll be a full-time player, even at the DH position, because I think the Cardinals will use other players like. They may throw Paul DeJong out there, and because Tommy Edman can play a lot of positions. Last year, Pujols combined, he played for both the Los Angeles teams. He hit 236, 284 on base percentage, which is awful. 433 OPS or slugging, 717 OPS, 14 home runs, 45 RBI. He just wasn't great.
Yeah, sounds like you're right. He probably won't get there.
Yeah, and well, as far as at bats go, he only had 189 official at bats. So
yeah, this sounds more like a ceremonial thing than anything.
I'm sorry, 275, and he's already announced it's his last year. So
did he? Okay.
Unless he drinks from the fountain of youth in St. Louis that seems to keep Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright going, then he'll probably not hit 21.
End of the best era and the best team in baseball. Dang, that's crazy.
Okay. Umpires, this has been announced this week. It's announced that umpires are mic'd up for replay explanation.
Good, because Angel Hernandez has some stuff to explain.
That guy's awful.
Yeah. How does he still have a job?
Because he sued the major league. Because he sued MLB.
Yeah, no, but I like this move. I think it's good. Gives the fans a little more clarity of what's going on instead of them just making a call and sticking with it. We've seen the NFL and NBA do it, so it's worked smooth there. Sometimes both the NBA and NFL get a little long-winded with their explanations, but hey, at least we get one.
Yeah, you like this move, Mauricio?
Something's better than nothing.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't say that it'd slow down the game too much.
Well, I was thinking it, but I was like, I'll hold back.
What's wrong with the game of baseball featuring Mauricio?
Here's the thing.
His book.
It's too long. Too many games, Then they slow it down more because they're like they stand when they're about to pitch, and then they're like
he's all about the pitch clock. He just can't get enough of.
Because I remember just growing up, I was like, man, like. This is like way too long. Like I'm trying to watch cartoons.
There's another one. Put it on the shirt.
Because I don't know if you remember, like they would have games on Fox on Sundays, and they would run late, but then that would run into like the animated like shows like at night, like the Simpsons and all that. Yeah, and all that, like all the episodes, and then it would get pushed back because it was still in the 7th inning and I haven't finished. And I'm like.
But what I was trying to say before my internet got messed up, but I think the last thing I heard you say, Mauricio, was about the cartoon thing and how it would cut into the Simpsons and all those cartoons. Katrina and I were watching The Weakest Link the other night, and there was a guy. Huh?
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's what my internet said. There was a guy on there that looked exactly like Peter Griffin that won. I was cracking up the whole time I saw him. Like a real version of Peter Griffin.
I didn't know they still did that show.
Yeah, they brought it back. And
they're bringing back everything.
That was one of our things to watch before Hezekiah was born. And then...
I gotcha. Oh, so when you say the other day, that was like a year ago?
No, because I saw that they had started another season.
Oh, okay.
Like recently, so we watched it. Last baseball item, this kind of happened today. The Padres acquired Sean Manaea from the A's. I don't know if you guys will have too much input on this, but...
Never heard of him.
Yeah. I thought it was largely confusing because the rumors on Saturday were that the Padres were trying to trade Chris Paddock and Eric Hosmer to the Mets, and the Mets balked at that. And the Padres turned around and traded for another starting pitcher. And they got Aaron Holiday, so they picked up a basketball player. And the A's got back, I'm going to butcher his name, Urbiel Angeles.
Fernando Tatis?
He's San Diego's 23rd best prospect, according to Fangraphs. He's an A-ball right now, but he's projected to make the big leagues this season. That'd be a very fast rise. And Adrian Martinez, I don't know. Fangraphs didn't have anything on him. So Padres are trying to compete with the Dodgers, and that move was still confusing.
Yeah, speaking of confusing moves, I did want to ask your opinion. I just saw where the Yankees and the Mets actually swapped relievers. Seemed odd with an all New York swap like that. Did you see that? Or
no,
have any opinions on it? Oh, okay.
I didn't see it. I'll look it up and see if I have any quick
Yeah,
opinions.
the only reason I would have thought those two teams would pretty much typically avoid trading with each other, kind of like we see interdivision stuff in the NFL and NBA, trying to avoid making the other team better. But I mean, I guess if you're just swapping relievers and view it as a lateral move.
Well, they don't compete in the same league, so it's.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm embarrassed.
No, you're good. So I guess last item on this list, because I got to go mow my yard.
I was going to do that today, but I decided not to.
I was going to do it yesterday, but
make me feel guilty.
Dang. No, you're good. Yeah, so the World Cup draw was announced Friday, I guess it was. And so we know the field for the Qatar, however people say that country's name.
Can you pull it up when we're talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me try and get it.
Yeah. There's I was looking at the groups, and there's definitely some that are like way like easy, and then the others I'm like, man, like how did they even end up all together?
Yeah, unsurprisingly, the host, who already shouldn't be hosting because of controversy, got an easy draw. So there's so much corruption in FIFA.
Are we surprised though?
That's true.
You guys are gonna have a lot more knowledge on this than I will, but
I might not. It's been a little bit since I've really been watching.
Okay, can you guys see this?
It says it's working on it. There we go. Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. This might not be the best. Let me see if I can.
Oh, it's good enough.
Okay, whatever.
So yeah, I guess for the audio listeners, we've got Group A: Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands. Group B is England, Iran, USA, and a Euro playoff. Group C is Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Group D is France, another playoff, Denmark, and Tunisia. Group E is Spain, another playoff, Germany, and Japan. Group F is Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. And Group H, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and Korea Republic. Any of these groups stand out to you guys?
I think the toughest one is going to be Group E.
Group B?
E.
Oh, E.
Yeah, it's because you got Spain, Germany, and Japan. They're all good. And then most likely that playoff team's going to be Costa Rica.
Is that the one between Costa Rica and like New Zealand or something?
New Zealand,
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
So that's going to be really
Costa Rica's
tough.
Kind of a dark horse too. So yeah, you could be right on that.
That's definitely for sure the toughest one, just because just by Spain, Germany, and Japan by themselves, that's already like three really good teams.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, I think that's the toughest one. And then for sure, Group H is also probably going to be the second. Like it's going to be hard to pick. Like, oh, these two teams for sure are going to be the ones.
Yeah, that is going to be a tough one because I could see any of those three: Portugal, Ghana, or Uruguay.
Even South Korea is really good.
Yeah, that would be really tough.
Well, let's just be honest. It's not Portugal. It's Cristiano Ronaldo.
I mean, fair enough.
That's how I saw somebody. Huh?
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Do what?
Oh, he said he's heard that too. That people call them the Cristiano Ronaldos.
Well, that was how I saw that it was like Cristiano Ronaldo is qualified for the World Cup instead of Portugal. So I was like, what?
Pretty much. I think from what I've seen as far as like odds makers they're looking at Brazil maybe having the best odds to win this year.
Yeah, they have a really easy group, and then whoever they play after that, they'll probably they'll probably get like a pretty
the number 2 team.
Yeah, from another group whenever they make. So they'll have an easy path to the towards the finals. So
that is a pretty easy group for them. What about you on the Group B? Do you think the U.S. can take that, or do you think England's going to get that top spot?
I think the U.S. could take the top spot. Sure, England's not like they're not playing as good as they used to be. And
on a downward spiral.
Yeah, they're on a spiral for real. Like the English soccer, I mean,
like what, Brazil? What's the downward spiral like?
What do you mean?
I'm referencing our conversation the other day.
What was it?
You can't remember.
Something about the Germans after World War II.
Oh yeah, because Spencer was like, oh, but they'll get back or something, and
They will bounce back.
I was like, look at Germany after World War II.
England's gonna win that group. England's gonna win that group. USA will get second.
Come on, Christian Pulisic.
The English have experience playing against him, though. He plays in the Premier League, so they play against him
that's
daily.
Also, not just English players, though.
Oh yeah, but I still think England can take it. There's too much talent on England's side for them not to take it.
Yeah, so either for sure those two are gonna make it. I don't think like even the playoff team that joins them.
Oh yeah. Do you remember which playoff includes Australia?
Australia.
I think it might be in Group D. Because that could make things a bit interesting there with France and Denmark. Because Australia is kind of a dark horse as well and has a chance to get second in that group if they could take down Denmark. This is my opinion. If that is indeed the one.
So that one for them it would be. They might actually be trouble because the playoff in that group is Ukraine and Scotland or.
In Group B.
And Wales. So if Wales makes it in, it might make it tough then.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but I mean, that's kind of a one-man show there too, isn't it?
Yeah, Christian. What's his name? Christian's name? Vale.
Yeah.
Vale. Never mind. So that could.
No, that's Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale. There we go. Yeah. So if Wales makes it in, it might. No, that might.
Yeah, it could complicate things. Yeah.
Yeah, that might make like a second place competition between the U.S. and Wales.
And I guess last I wanted to get your opinion on Group C, of course, because you will be rooting for Mexico, I'm sure.
Avocados from Mexico. No, dude, it seems like every World Cup is always Mexico. They always we've been with Germany, we've been with France, we've been with Italy, and this year is Argentina.
But so you get an easy draw other than that, though.
Nah, dude, Poland's respectable.
Are they? I have not paid attention to Poland. I gotta be honest.
Saudi Arabia is the only if you lose that game, you're like, why are you even playing? You know, like, why are you even playing soccer?
Mexico soccer is pretty down right now. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Like that's what. Also, it's like even the Poland game's gonna be tough because we're probably. I thought the 2010 Mexico team was really bad, but no, this team's probably worse.
But I thought the 2010 Mexico team was fun. I liked them.
We got rescued that year.
Yeah. Well, do you think Argentina will make it far, or are they too old?
Well, again, Argentina is kind of the same deal with Portugal and all those other teams. It's it's Messi. Yeah. And that's the only thing he hasn't been able to do in soccer. He's won everything in soccer that he can do, as a player and stuff, but he hasn't been able to win a World Cup for his team. And I think that's they always kind of hang that over his head, when they talk in soccer and stuff. And if he doesn't do it, I mean, this is his last World Cup. This is gonna be it. So if he doesn't do it,
sure,
they're gonna, and especially maybe not around the world, because around the world he's a great player, but in Argentina, where it probably matters the most, people are always gonna bring the fact that he wasn't able to win them a World Cup. Yeah,
I think they could have been pretty good if they would have. It's just an age factor because they do have Di Maria still, but they lost Aguero. He's retired now, so they had some other players around him. But yeah, I think age is going to catch up to them. And then I think Belgium could be kind of an interesting.
Yeah, Belgium for sure. It's going to be in the up and up. They've made it pretty far the last couple World Cups.
Croatia did too, but I think they're running a little old as well.
Yeah, we've been in group with Croatia in the past World Cups too, and we haven't had issues with them. So I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's Canada's first World Cup in three different tribes. You know, they're finally back.
I'm shocked that Italy didn't qualify.
Oh, dude, Italy's been after they won that World Cup.
I'm so mad.
Yeah, dude. They lost to North Macedonia. Which is
and any chances that France goes back to back?
I could see that too. They're really good. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Andy, you got any contributions here?
Nope.
Fair enough.
He's got his men's U.S. T-shirt ready to go.
Yeah. I'm not a huge soccer watcher. So
he's checked out. He's ready to mow his lawn.
I'm trying to get into soccer or football.
Well,
Go Blues!
Just gotta wake up early.
Yeah.
That's gonna be I think they start playing. I think the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this World Cup. Yeah,
but I do always watch World Cup though, so that's always a fun watch.
Of course, yeah, that is. World Cup time is definitely fun.
I actually had the Juventus game on earlier. I probably didn't even say that right. So
you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys done with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, just real quick, because we've never talked about this on the podcast as far as I know. The NHL season is wrapping up. I think they end about the same time as the NBA, maybe a little bit earlier. I don't know.
I saw where those playoffs are almost set. Yeah.
Yeah. The Florida Panthers have just qualified for the playoffs, so they have second most points in the league behind Colorado Avalanche. So the Joel Quenneville resigning didn't hurt them too much. It's just they've got some good talent.
Yeah, same for like Francis McGillicuddy. He coming in and being on that back line on the defense for them has been just unbelievable. I mean, he's got 12 checks in the last game, and then he just got McDavid right on the boards, and they went for the face-off, and it was incredible.
They went for the what?
They were doing a face-off, and it was incredible. And McGillicuddy hit it with a one-timer to Williams, and Williams put it in the back of the net, and then the light went off, and woo! It was great.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna start talking about sports that I know nothing about.
That's kind of how I felt with the World Cup. Yeah, Aaron Ekblad is out, so that's kind of crazy that the Panthers are still keeping up. That's a real player. So
this definitely could make up players, and I wouldn't know.
Yeah, like Sergei Bobrovsky.
Sure,
is he real? Yeah,
I'm gonna say yes.
Yep. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. So the division leaders are the Panthers, Hurricanes, Avalanche, and the Flames. So those teams are probably going to hold it down. And the Kings are close to the Flames, and so the Oilers are bringing it up too. But anyway, what's your favorite hockey team, Mauricio?
Growing up, I like the Sabres.
Well, they've been garbage for several years. Oh, is that Sakic?
Well, it's a personalized one, but
that's pretty cool.
It was when I was a kid.
Why 8?
That's my number. That's my number.
Okay.
8.
That's cool.
The perks of doing this from the closet.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap. I gotta go mow my yard.
I'm gonna drive by and harass you.
Okay. Throw some water at me.
Okay.
I'll probably be sweating profusely.
I'm gonna go eat some barbecue chicken nachos.
Nice.
Nice.
Not. I don't know what we're doing. Oh, we're gonna have quesadillas.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Homemade quesadillas that taste like white people made quesadillas.
Oh my.
Mo, rub Javi's belly for me.
Yeah, his angry head. He's been mad a lot.
Jeez. All right. See you guys later.
See ya.
Yeah.